Fire Weep, Grana Weep, and Mini Bong! And welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to be checking a look at the final issue of the Transformers Shattered Glass series by IDW. If you don't know what this is where the Autobots are the bad guys and the Decepticons are the heroic good guys. This has been a 5-issue miniseries from IDW. I have reviews on every other issue. If you want to check it out, go check it out. So as I've already said, this is the final issue. So let's start by checking a look at the cover art for this, and it's a gorgeous one. Purple Decepticon, Autobot, Jetfire here, purple and black. Still waiting for my actual figure of this. Can't wait to get that, because I love the War for Cybertron Jetfire, and this is an amazing colorway of it. Transformers Shattered Glass at the top, issue number 5. He's holding the head of Starscream here, or is it Megatron? I think that's Starscream, right? I think it's Starscream with an evil-looking grin on his face, purple Autobot logo on the bottom, and then the artist's signature there. Beautiful, amazing cover. When we open this up, Transformers Shattered Glass, the writer, the artist, the inks, the colors, the letters, the editor, the supervising editor, and the design. IDW Publishing at the bottom. Roll call on this. We have ourselves a Goldbug, a Starscream, an Optimus Prime, or an Orion Pax as he's often referred to in this one, a Megatronus, and a Jetfire. So when we open it up, we have a quick reminder that the secret to Titan control and Titan technology lives within the Shattered Glass take on Starscream. This Shattered Glass take on Starscream was being tortured by Goldbug and Jetfire to try and get the information out of him, and basically at the end of the last issue, Goldbug had lost his temper and was aiming a gun right at Starscream. Now most of this issue is basically what goes on within Jetfire's head, so it's a lot of these purple narrations from Jetfire himself. So Jetfire is opening up this one reminiscing on about his past and thinking about how he should have been left to die on the ground, but unfortunately nobody let him die, and he thinks back to Starscream. He then starts saying that the Decepticons have never been strong enough to hold power. They only bring chaos. Now you have to remember that the Decepticons in this take are the good guys. He kind of explains why he sided with the Autobots, and he says the warlords like Goldbug, Optimus Prime, and Prowl have always crushed their rebellions. If Megatron and his sentient scrap pile were meant to be in charge, they'd actually win instead of falling and dying in the streets. So we can see that basically in Jetfire's head, the Decepticons just aren't powerful enough to hold the reins of power when it comes to Cybertron, and they keep getting crushed. He says he's lived by these beliefs for mega cycles, but now it looks like he's kind of changing his mind. As we've already said, Goldbug's frustrations have reached absolute peak, so he releases Starscream and then kicks Starscream to the ground, and that's followed up by a swift punch from Jetfire, who says, "Tell them you're not a Decepticon, Starscream." And he's a little concerned because Jetfire knows that Goldbug is now demanding that he be Starscream's executioner, and he's not sure exactly that he would be up for that. Outside the city gates, Megatron's team is now attacking, trying to rescue Starscream from Goldbug's clutches, and with this distraction going on outside, Jetfire then lands an absolute blinder right in Goldbug's kisser, smashing his eye to pieces. This only enrages Goldbug, who is lying there half blinded on the floor. He then turns around and blasts Starscream right in the back. Luckily though for Starscream, he missed his spark. But Goldbug's got another idea. Boom! Goldbug reaches in from behind and grabs the spark of Starscream. All Jetfire can do is look on in horror as the spark is quite literally pulled out of Starscream's beating chest. Out in the streets, screams that are coming from within the ruins are stopping the battle because, as Jetfire says, he doesn't know which of us was screaming, but it shakes the walls. Maybe it was both of us, and we see shattered glass versions of Autobots and Decepticons here. The amazing shattered glass Soundwave that I am so disappointed that Hasbro didn't release in this, because they actually have really great takes on Soundwave at the moment, and to get a shattered glass take on this would have been absolutely phenomenal. I think I'd have definitely preferred that to maybe even the Megatron, because it's just awesome. Look at it. Look at it. Goldbug stands there with Starscream's spark firmly in his clutches, and Jetfire thinks to himself, I was too weak to stop Goldbug. Starscream was weaker, and he still chose Starscream. He should have followed the boss instead. Now he wants to hunt him down. He screams Starscream again at the top of his voice, but again he's too slow, too weak to even catch Starscream's empty shell. This forces Jetfire to kind of reminisce on his past with Starscream and how Starscream's vision for the future was one of peace and one that could be great for the whole of Cybertron. And unfortunately, at every opportunity, Jetfire always betrayed that dream, and he says he was always too scared to take your hand until it was too late. Goldbug quips, I told you, Jetfire, Starscream was never walking out of this room. And if you don't, that's your own foolish fault. Goldbug then sets some other Autobots onto Jetfire, and Jetfire gets proper raged up and starts ripping them limb from limb from limb, because he knows he wants to get after Goldbug as quick as possible to hunt him down for the destruction that he has caused upon his friend. He screams to himself, or thinks to himself, that it's not my fault. He knows whose fault it is. They fight in Goldbug's name, in Optimus Prime's name, in Megatron's name. They fight for ridiculous causes. Freedom. Power. I've heard enough. I'd rather have his voice than these causes. So now he's saying basically he fights for Starscream, and he stands up and he takes Starscream's body and he goes off to the sky. Megatron spots this and leaps into the sky himself in that awful alt mode. It looks actually better here than it does on the toy, but it's still an awful alt mode. And he takes Jetfire down with Starscream's lifeless body smashing to the ground. Jetfire now blames everybody, including Megatron, for Starscream's demise and says, you did this, all of you. He wasn't a soldier. You made him one. He was a scholar, an explorer, and now he's sparkless. Megatron says, stop this, Jetfire. This isn't what Starscream would want. He says, what would you know? But he knows that Starscream wouldn't want this, and he knows that Megatron would know, because Megatron actually spent more time with him than Jetfire has for a long time. So Megatron suggests that Jetfire now joins their cause, not because he believes in it, but really to team up to get the spark back. He asks who has the spark, and he says Goldbug has it. So hunt him down, and I'd say he deserves it, wouldn't you? Jetfire says he'll consider it. We then turn the page to see that Jetfire blasts off into the sky to do something dramatic. We then see in the background a hooded figure looking quite a lot like Megatron, but it's actually not Megatron. It's actually Slicer, aka Shattered Glass Wheeljack, who's talking to Ultra Magnus, who looks like Delta Magnus, on here. And Magnus is talking to him about other people's plans for the Sparks, and he says, "You were not the only spy in Goldbug's ranks. Word has travelled across Cybertron of his new prize. If Goldbug does not work quickly, Prowl is waiting in the winds to snatch it from him, and Prime has plans to snatch it because he has his own plans for the Spark for over a megacycle, because the Autobot that controls the Spark controls the Titans." And then the final image is of Goldbug stood in front of Metroplex, with Metroplex looking like he's screaming. And that's the end. We got some artwork here, the one I've already got. We got some Shattered Glass Megatron artwork, rather nice. I do quite like this, which is almost like a more humanoid version of Jetfire. I really do like that one. Star Trek Miramore, Godzilla, Marvel Heroes, Snake Eyes, and Toidles. So, overall, what do I think of it? I think it was okay, but I do believe it's ended just as it was getting good. So, overall, it was a great build-up. IDW are now losing the license, so I don't think this will continue. I'm honestly a little bit disappointed. This was going really, really well. Then for me, just as it got good, it ended. Such a shame. Let me know your thoughts on this one down in the comments, and I'll see you in my next video. Alright guys, in a bit. Peace!